Welcome to the Town of Abingdon's Historic Preservation Review Board's regular meeting. I'm Betsy White, the chair. This is a citizen board appointed by the Town Council to interpret and uphold Abingdon's Historic Preservation Ordinance, which is Chapter 44, Section 2-4 of Abingdon's zoning ordinance that protects the historic district of Abingdon, which has been designated the Old and Historic District, along with all of its contributing resources, including buildings, structures, and sites from negative encroachment resulting from inappropriate construction, design, alterations, or demolitions. Our review process is guided by our design review guidelines, which are based on the United States Secretary of Interior's standards for rehabilitation. Our aim on this board is to provide a positive bridge between the design review process and property owners seeking to make changes, working together through the natural partnership that exists between us for mutual good. The result will be to ensure Abingdon's historic district continues as a valuable asset and one that makes Abingdon a good place to live, to work, and to visit. We appreciate your interest, and we encourage public participation in our meeting. Your comments are important to our decision-making process. Anyone who is addressing the board will please approach the podium, identify your first and last name, and give your complete mailing address. Roll call.
Mr. Boyd, Mrs. Pillion, Mrs. Hartshorn,
Here.
Mrs. White,
Here.
and Mrs. Bond.
Here.
All right, our first order of business is the approval of minutes from our November the 5th meeting. Has everyone had time to review them? If so, do I have a motion to approve them?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
All right, Ms. Hartshorn has moved to approve the minutes of the November 5th meeting.
And I will second.
Ms. Bunn seconds that motion. Roll call.
Mrs. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mrs. White,
Aye.
and Mrs. Bond.
Aye.
We do have a quorum, even though we're missing two. All right, I think we will proceed directly to our certificates of appropriateness applications. And the first one is from Bernard and Sarah Hurley. And I see Ms. Hurley is here. All right, staff report first.
Bernard K. and Sarah L. Hurley, applicant/owner, have requested approval of a certificate of appropriateness to resurface an existing grade gravel driveway with a different surfacing material and install a wooden picket fencing, either stained or painted white, along the property's eastern, southern, and western property lines. The property is located at 269 King Street. Background, the existing grade gravel driveway is located within a public undeveloped right-of-way oriented north to south connecting Dale Street to King Street. There is no existing fencing associated with the property. Staff findings, the applicant proposed to resurface an existing grade gravel driveway, as you see here in this photo, with a different surfacing material and install wooden picket fencing, either stained or painted white, along the property's southern and western property lines. Per the design guidelines, driveway should be constructed using either brown pea gravel or brown pea gravel embedded in asphalt, or pea gravel secured in an appropriate proprietary system, brick, concrete, or narrow strip tracks of concrete. Asphalt may be considered as an alternative material in areas of steep grade. The existing grade gravel driveway is located within a public undeveloped right-of-way. If the town decided to improve the undeveloped right-of-way, the applicant would assume all risk based on the site plan below, but you can see here on the video. Below the stacked stones are to be placed where the driveway will end. Due to the driveway being in a public undeveloped right-of-way, the stacked stones should not be placed in such a fashion as blocking access. The town, as of December 3rd, 2025, does not have any plans to improve the right-of-way between King Street and Dale Street. Secondly, the applicant proposed to install a 3-foot by 4-foot wooden picket fence, either stained or painted white, along the eastern and southern property lines, and a 6-foot or smaller wooden picket privacy fence, either stained or painted white, along the western property line, as shown in the rendering below. So here's the fence right there, here, and then I believe the green is also part of the one, or is that part of the other one?
Yes, I'm getting oriented. So, yes, and I know that you had a question about the different styles on those.
Yep, and we'll get.
Okay, yes, so that is part.
Per the design guidelines, fences of cast iron or wooden pickets, balusters, or spindles are appropriate for front yards and should be painted or stained in opaque color. Solid board fences that obstruct visibility of the historic premises are not appropriate for use in the front yards. Privacy fences should be no greater than 6 feet in height and setback from the front of the house at least halfway back on its side dimension. Based on the location of the 6-foot or smaller wooden picket privacy fence, either stained or painted white along the western property line, this one right here, as shown on the rendering of the proposed privacy fence would need to be pushed back so as to start halfway with the existing main building's west elevation. So I added some pictures of what you gave. So this
Yeah,
is kind of
right.
what I'm imagining the picket fence would be. And then these are 2 examples of really what a privacy fence would look like, this one. And then we have this
It's
one as
kinda like
well.
a combination, yeah, between
And so just to make sure, before we go into any questions you may have, just to make sure, Mrs. Hurley, is this kind of, the green right here, is that associated
That
with
would be-
this property or the next?
Yes, it is associated with my property. I mean, I own both of these
Oh,
lots.
well, I'm sorry,
Right.
269 or
Right,
277?
277. So I'll probably have it associated with mine and leave it, because the facing is different, right? Which one?
Yep, so
associated with?
whatever one it's associated with, the finished side would have to be
Okay.
facing out.
Right, right.
towards it.
Do I have to make up my mind right now? No, I guess I do. Let's do it to 277.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it would just have to be set back halfway, but we can get to that when we get to 277 for that one,
Oh, like halfway, like, describe that and explain that to me.
right here.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
But with that being said, then really you're just looking at the fence here then for 269,
Yeah, and then
here
also,
and here.
yeah, that's correct.
And that, from what I could tell, was it's a 40-foot or
40-inch,
40 inch.
36 to 40 inch,
Yeah.
that just kind of,
so
depending on how,
3 feet to 4
Mm-hmm.
feet, which is acceptable for front yards. And then it looks like on the same thing on the side yard.
or that's kind of the front orientation of the house, which makes this a little confusing. So I want to make it feel more like the front of the house with the,
Yep. So this is the example of the picket fence that you sent me.
Yeah, like a
We have
little
other ones in
scallop.
town, but that's what the applicants propose, so we won't worry about those then, since it's just kind of this one that we're looking at. If you have any questions for me, more than happy to answer them.
All right.
If not-
Why don't you go ahead and explain what you want to do, too? I know Gabe has just done that.
Okay.
So
Just on this
we basically, well, you've got multiple properties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just start with this first one.
Okay.
Okay.
so yeah, the 269, I'm just wanting,
Is 269 the
it's by
house we
residence.
just saw the front of?
let's see.
It's like right to the left of the driveway there?
Let's see which.
No, that's just an
No, that's
example.
just an example. I just pulled off Pinterest.
No, I mean the
Okay.
house itself, at the very beginning, when you
Yeah, let me see.
pulled back.
No, it's over here.
No, I don't think we. I
It's
saw a
over
picture.
there, isn't it, where you're?
Yeah,
Yeah,
where my
right,
clicker
to
is.
the left of what
Yes,
we're looking at.
yes, correct.
Correct, okay.
Yes, so the front of the house is, like the front door, the front porch, all of that's oriented. I guess at one
It's all
point they wanted
oriented
to.
east.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
so that's
do
the
east.
one we're talking about, okay.
Yes.
I can pull.
So one of my main impetus for this is the deer problem. And I'm a
Oh.
gardener, and I was actually on the garden tour. I really love to garden. And so I'm just trying to create a little bit more barrier and with attractive fencing
Right.
to just kind of, make it less desirable for them.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of going crazy maybe with some of this fencing. But, yeah, so it would look like just your front picket in the front.
In the front of the
And
house.
then what you're seeing, what it looks to be, if you're not actually kind of looking at the house,
Here
the
you go.
King Street is
Yeah.
the side of the house.
Yes,
So it would just have, and it has like a large, I don't know if you've ever been there, but like a kind of large concrete step walkway up to.
yes. I
Like the
mean,
basement door.
I've driven
Yeah,
by
there we
in
are.
order to
It's
see
just-
what you're
it's-
talking about.
All my shrubs are kind of, looks like it's swallowing the house. But, yes, so as you see up on the bank is where it would be.
Yes,
I'm glad things
okay.
cleaned this up. And then I have a garden in the back.
Is that your raised bed garden that I
Yes.
saw today?
Yes, yeah.
So, and that where is the fence going in relation to that?
So it
I
will
wondered
go
about that.
like along the side. So if you're looking at this right now,
Yes?
like on top of the embankment.
Yes.
And kind of have a break, obviously, where you walk up. And then the privacy fence will be on the back side, which is like oriented the back of my house. On the side.
Right.
Yeah.
Closer
277.
to the house that's next to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
as a privacy fence.
Yeah.
So, let's see. I'm questioning something because our
Yeah.
guidelines really call for houses, for fences at houses to be set back halfway.
Right, so what is
we've
this,
got a
like,
different
half
we've got a different orientation for your house because we're talking about the back
Right,
of the house. Though.
right.
So may I, if I can
Yes.
interject?
Yeah.
You said a privacy fence?
For the,
Not for 269.
right, well, 269, it would be like a side, right, it would be I said that's why I kind of need your
Yes.
recommendation. So it's the back of my house, so should I have the 269, which is my residence,
Yes.
versus on the 277, which is technically a side fence for them, right?
Yes.
Right,
Yes. For that property.
right.
It would be a side fence for that.
Right, so if it's
property.
better to put it on on the 269 to run it along that boundary line, that's what I prefer to do, and then I'll just turn it and face.
Yep, so here, let me go back
Okay.
to let me go to this. So if you want it
know,
for,
it's
if you want the privacy fence for 269,
Yes,
it'd have
let's do
to
it that way.
be
Yes.
set back halfway, so about here, but you could still have this fence here.
Okay, now set back halfway. Show me, sorry, my eyes.
You're good, about
Okay.
halfway. So halfway with the building.
That's what our
Oh,
guidelines
halfway.
say. So is that going to?
That's,
in-
I'm, for some reason, I'm not picturing halfway like on, so it can be set on the boundary line? Are we talking about
Yeah.
boundary lines?
Halfway of the length.
Oh, halfway.
halfway back. From
Back.
the,
Oh,
from
halfway
the front of
back.
the
I
house.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the
Yeah,
street.
I'm like,
So it's not coming
okay.
all the way down to the
Yeah.
street.
Right, so I could just, are you saying like diminish the height as it gets
Yep.
towards the side?
So
I
if
mean,
you-
I'm flexible. We can do,
yeah, so if you want to follow,
right.
if you want to look at your screen and see my cursor
Yeah,
here, so you would continue that fence,
Okay.
that kind of picket fence,
Right.
that's 4 feet to
Okay,
about
like
halfway
that.
where it
Oh,
hits,
I
where
see.
halfway with the building there, and that's when you would start that privacy fence.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Is that good?
I would say,
Yeah, I would prefer to bring it a little further, just like when you're, almost like, design is kind of important to me, like the way it feels from both sides of the house. If I could do it a little bit further, because you have kind of a natural as you're coming towards the end of the 277 house, and it kind of, that's where you have the break of the garden. Can you see it on there? It's pretty rough. I think it would be just more visually attractive, kind of for both at that point. So if you're pulling up, I wish I could show you what I'm talking about.
I can't go down that way, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, okay, you can kind of, okay, let's see where the fence, I mean, the privacy wall not privacy, sorry, the raised bed wall comes to?
Yes. That's what
So-
we're looking at right there.
Right, so
Okay.
more like, I mean, halfway is further up, correct? Because you have this built on, like the structure, so, and it doesn't even look great. So the original structure you can see is the tall 2-story. You see, could I go to halfway from that point, possibly just aesthetically speaking?
If it's approximately halfway,
Yeah,
that's what they look
Maybe.
for,
Yes.
as long as
Yes.
it's approximately
Okay.
halfway.
It just can be approximate.
Okay,
Is
right.
that 277?
yeah,
This is
that's
277.
277.
Do you own that
Yes,
also?
I do. yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but as long as it's approximately not, I can
Okay.
come out and we can kind of,
Okay, just
See
kind of
where we
eyeball
lay.
it, like how it looks
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yes. And that'll be okay with your deer problem?
We'll see. Yeah, hopefully it'll help.
Okay. Okay. So therefore, to review the fence.
Right.
The fencing is that there are 2 fences, right?
Yes, yes.
Have we talked about both of them right now?
Yeah, but we didn't go into link with the one. So this would be like the traditional that he's pulled up right here,
Okay.
the side of my house and the front of my house.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
and then we're kind of transitioning to something a little bit more rustic. It's
And
actually,
more privacy looking.
right,
Okay.
and we took some of these, this was actually in Plymouth that we took these, well, both
Okay.
Plymouth and Williamsburg, that we took these. I was like, oh, this is what I want. So, yeah, so this is,
I think the
Kind of a
deer are going to
blend
just
between this
step
one.
right over that. They're not going to.
yes, this is shorter than I want, because this is only about 40 inches tall. But aesthetically and style, just to do the kind of, and then do you have that other one? Okay, so this is actually quite tall privacy fence, and it's set on masonry. So I was kind of thinking something a little bit cross between the two. Not quite as rustic as the first, but not quite as dressed as this one. And this one's like a kind of a glossy paint finish, you remember it's like on it, but I'd probably more do of a stain. And I'm not sure, like this one obviously has a capping and stuff on the top, which is probably a little more dress than I was thinking.
Well, we also have to
Yeah.
know all that before we approve anything, too. How
Yes.
you're going to cap it off, what you're going to use, what
So I
material. it's
will
gonna
not, this is what, so that's why I brought this one.
Yeah.
See this, where it's not, flip to the other one where it's not capped, it's just, they're cut, just kind of like. a
That's what
nice
you-
little
that's
taper.
what
be. That's what
you're
you're going to, how
use,
you're going to
okay.
finish it.
Yeah.
How about the height? If you make it a lot taller, I thought you said it was going to be this height, that 40 inches or something.
So
Size of
I'll,
6 feet.
I'll go
Yeah.
to this right here. So right from
Like
this
the blue,
one,
yeah.
this, and then approximately to here would have to be that 3 feet to 4 inches to 4 feet.
Okay,
That's what the front yard would be.
all right.
Then, once it picks up approximately halfway going back, that's where it could be up to 6 feet. But it can't be any more than 6 feet.
And is it just going to the end of the squiggle, or?
Well, yeah, and it's hard to see what this is without being out there because this print off from the GIS is pretty bad. But that is actually a little shed that comes out.
Oh,
But that's in one of your other,
No, this is actually,
We're
that
looking
shed
at
is on my
tonight?
property.
Yeah.
I mean,
this
on
is
my,
what we're
It's on
looking
this
at
one.
tonight.
all three
on
of these,
Yes.
my residence property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
It's just like a little garden shed.
right.
okay,
So it'll be terminating into the garden shed.
That's,
Yes,
I
yeah.
think it's this.
maybe, but that might be on the Dale Street property.
Not that. Not that
So
one.
if you're
That's-
actually
okay.
We're
on
good.
the property, then it steps up, like we have a retaining wall. Have you ever been out? Did you take the garden tour that day?
I was on it, so I
Okay.
didn't take it.
It was raining, wasn't it? So if you're out there, it transitions very differently from the shed up because we have like steps,
yeah.
and then it's a retaining wall. So it just is very different than looking at on this.
Well, so to recap, we have
Yeah.
2 fences that we're talking about, that we
Correct.
just talked about. And
Yes.
the first one is the picket fence, which will
Yes.
be 3 to 4 feet high.
Mhm. And that's the blue, if you see.
That's the
what I'm
blue we
writing.
see there. The second one is the taller one, more privacy fence, that will
Correct.
be not any taller than 6 feet,
Correct.
correct?
Yeah.
All right.
And
Does that say what you need?
Yes.
And
Does
the
that
material
summarize
is
it?
wood,
And the-
stained or
and wood-
painted, did we
Wood or
decide?
stained or painted white?
I will probably, it's funny how sometimes when you put it up, but I will probably be staining it all white.
Okay,
Yeah, like a solid stain, so
Okay.
it has the
all
like
right.
a more, versus more transparent stain. So,
All right, so that takes care of that summarizes the fences. And back to the to the driveway.
So the driveway is quite steep. It doesn't kind of reflect it so much. You can tell actually by how the gravel gets washed out very early.
Uh-huh,
And so talking to Rick Blevins, I'm not sure if you know Rick. He's my neighbor too, but he does a lot of, that was his profession. He thinks we should asphalt based on the grade. So we would like to have the option, I would prefer to use pavers, but we have to kind of get him out there to take a second look to even if we can. But then probably the most practical option is to asphalt
okay.
based on the grade.
So, I mean, I'll ask Gabe to comment on this too. I mean, this is, we ordinarily recommend pea gravel,
Right.
but we also allow asphalt when it's steep,
Yeah.
And then the third piece of this is the fact that it's a public right-of-way.
So you couldn't put the stones like in your site plan because it's an unopened right of way for anybody to use. You have your driveway there, which is fine.
Okay.
But if the town ever decided to improve that right of way to connect Dale Street and King Street, then the property owner would take full risk of losing out any improvements that they did there.
Oh.
But to this day, the town doesn't have any plans to improve that. So it's just an unopened right of way that can be used by anybody. For the materials, usually pea gravel is one, but you also brick, concrete strips. Asphalt has been used, like just to give you context, the one over here, just past these bushes and everything, they have an asphalt driveway because it's pretty steep as well.
Right,
So,
that's what I was thinking of,
Yeah.
just
So-
on that street.
so on that street, it is steep in certain areas, so it's really up to the board to determine.
We
if
did
this
sort
is-
of make a comment in the past when someone came with a different project with asphalt that we were kind of going away from asphalt a little bit and looking more at the pea gravel because we have so much asphalt in town, it takes away from a lot of people.
Just as a sign,
But-
there's no way pea gravel would stay on that drive. I mean, even
It just
heavy regular
washes
gravel
down,
just
yeah.
washes out. Yeah.
So
So-
you also have the brick and the concrete as another
Right.
acceptable options that you have, but again, asphalt is an alternative if the grade is too steep.
Right.
And also, this isn't just the steepness, it is actually a water runoff. So that just impacts that much more. That's why we're, even pavers, like concrete pavers, something would be my preferred choice. But we kind of need to get more expert opinion before putting those out there because it's right above, so the water tower is right above me. So we have a tremendous amount of water that comes down there, and then also Dale Street. It's just the way it is.
Well, considering that you'd like to get more of opinion, and you sort of know the gist of what the scope of
Right.
what's allowed, do you want to just delay that
We
one particular
could.
decision?
Also, I did need to kind of ask a question. So if a culvert was to be put in, I know that Gaby had talked about this, because of if you're pulling out of the drive, it's pretty easy to go off into the ditch. It's just placed, it's actually not, I would almost like to move it over a little for safety's sake. So what would I need? Because it might be better to put this off and know exactly what I need to do as far as that goes.
That would have to be, like, our Public Works and
Right.
Engineering would have to look at that to know what's possible and what can be done and everything. So if you're looking to do that, it might be
Yeah.
better to hold off on the driveway then and just table the driveway portion
Okay.
of it.
Because we probably won't do this till spring anyways.
Yeah.
Because of the weather.
So,
This would give you time to really explore those options then.
Yeah, but definitely pea gravel is not an option there,
Okay,
or any kind of gravel.
yeah,
for that matter.
anything that's loose.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, you can table the driveway until you get further opinion, just approve the fence or whatever you would.
Okay. Is that it for 269?
Yes.
That is it for 260.
Okay, shall we take that now in total and vote on 269 for you
Yeah,
at
sure.
this rate? Okay, all right.
Go ahead, Brooke, I'll let you do it.
What'd you say?
I told Brooke to figure it out.
Well, we have the two fences.
The two fences.
You can say that.
Yes. I would like to make a motion to approve your two fences as stated, the picket that runs along the front and the side, and then the privacy fence. Taken into consideration, it needs to be set back.
Right. Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
With the dimensions as we mentioned.
Yes.
The 3 to 4 feet for the picket fence and not more than 6.
Yes.
And then stained or painted white
Yes.
wood, right?
Wood,
That-
yes.
Right?
Definitely would.
All right. So we've got a motion on the floor by Ms. Bunn.
I will give it a second.
Ms. Hartshorn seconds that motion. Any further discussion? Any public comment?
Oh, do we have to say anything about the table? before?
Yeah, I would say
Oh,
just table
Yeah,
the,
and we'll
table the driveway.
And
discussion.
that'll be a motion?
I would
Okay.
just wrap it all.
Okay, and then we will table the driveway, yes.
Okay.
Any public comment on this, anyone? All right, no public comment and end of discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mrs. White,
Aye.
and Mrs. Bunn.
Aye.
All right, onward. The next one.
One sec, okay. Our next COA applications from Bernard K. and Sarah L. Hurley, applicant/owner, have requested approval of a certificate of appropriateness to install a driveway, install wooden picket fencing, either stained or painted white, along the property's northern property line, and install front porch lighting. The property is located at 277 King Street. So we're looking at this one now, right here. Background, there is no driveway or existing fencing associated with the property. The applicant proposed to construct a driveway near this western property line, so right here, as you can see. Per the design guidelines, driveway should be constructed of brown pea gravel, bricks, brick pavers, concrete, or asphalt can be used as an alternative. The applicant proposed to install a 3-foot wooden picket fence, either stained or painted white, along the southern property line. So right here. And then along the other property line, a 6-foot or smaller wooden picket fence, privacy fence, either stained or painted white, along the northern property line. So right here. For the design guidelines, as I said, fences need to be wood and cast iron. Lastly, the applicant proposed to install 2 brass lighting fixtures on either side of the entrance. So kind of right here where they're shown. And this is what I had that you sent me.
Yeah, so I was actually these have been sold, sadly. But something similar. I even pulled up another picture, but basically, I like to use true period lighting, and I'll kind of hunt around. It's hard to find too. So, but is something to this effect. It's hard to find the exact unless you're going on Wayfair or Lowe's, but is just something just very basic, simple, lanterns kind of style. and raw natural or brass, unlacquered brass, preferably, or iron, like an iron.
If I may, could I just ask a question? The same fence that'll be along 269 for the picket fence, would that be the same sort of
Yeah,
style for here?
Since you know, I actually would like to this one. This will probably be a little on the shorter, like a 36, no higher than that, and
Okay.
without the scallop, just to make it a little bit more simplistic
Okay,
and less matchy.
okay.
Right.
Okay. Good. Is that it?
That's it. Yeah.
All right.
This one's simple.
Okay, so for 277, just to recap, we have a new driveway to put in where there is no drive at all.
You're right. It's
that
no
right?
official drive. It's like a mud.
Okay.
Little slope.
Okay. And then we have fence number 1, which is in the front, which is 3 feet high,
Yeah.
picket fence in the front, facing south, the front of the
Correct,
house,
yeah.
okay? And then we have the privacy fence that's along the back, the rear of the property, which is that along Dale Street?
That is, yes.
Okay. Okay. And then the lights, the 2 lights that are either side of the front doors.
Correct. And then, Gabe, I don't know, did you get also, I know we had talked about, I don't know if there was any photo with the lattice would be changed out just to being
That would be
the
a minor,
grid.
yeah, that would be a minor thing,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's minor, okay.
because you already have, yeah, it's already
Right.
wood, and you'd
Okay.
just be changing the orientation. One thing, just to make sure when you're talking about the driveway, to what material, and again, this is just a discussion you guys can have about what surfacing material.
Right.
I'll just
Should
do
be
pea
there.
gravel on that one.
Oh,
Brown?
you will?
Is it flatter?
It's flatter.
So
yeah.
you know what you want there?
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
it said on
okay.
here TBD, so I didn't know.
What's
Okay.
that?
Yeah, so it's going to be brown pea gravel, is that?
Yeah, just the
Sure.
dark gravel.
So
and
you,
it
so
might-
you don't need any time on that one, you know what you want there.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so, did that summarize those 4 items here? Pretty
Yes,
well?
it did.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll make a
So-
motion.
Do we have any further discussion?
Oh, sorry.
Excuse me. Anybody want to ask another question? Public comments for questions? Okay, you want to try a motion?
I will try.
Okay.
That we approve the COA number 2 for property 277 with a pea gravel driveway and 2 fences, one at the backside, north side of the property, which will be a privacy fence of wooden,
Just what, it
Stained
would,
or
actually, I
white?
probably would do the same style as,
Okay.
yeah, to kind of.
and then in the front of the house, a shorter 36-inch.
Yeah, just simple
Picket
picket
fence.
fence.
And the 2 brass lamps on either side of the front doors?
Yeah,
Is brass the correct word?
that's what my preferred is.
Okay.
Yeah. Like an unfinished brass, not
Unfinished
the.
brass.
Right. Okay.
I think that was all of it.
Get that? All right.
I will second.
And a second by Ms. Bunn seconds that motion. All right, you got that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mrs. White,
All right,
and Mrs. Bunn.
Aye.
all right,
You done?
all right.
There's another property, I wasn't sure if it was coming up on the elevations.
You got one,
Okay.
well, you got one more.
Oh, I do have one more, okay, I
Yes.
was like, are we?
I
are
thought
we
you
done?
did, yeah.
Okay,
Ready for the third one? So the third certificate of appropriateness is from Bernard K. and Sarah L. Hurley, applicant/owner, for, it doesn't have an address, but it's parcel number 011-5-120A. It's off of Dale Street. And they propose to do some exterior changes. One is to add a porch onto the western elevation of the existing building.
it looks really rad.
And install fencing along the northern property line. So, right here. No background information could be found about this building. It's really just looks like a shed or garage.
I have a little bit of, I mean, it's not official, but the man that we actually bought the property from had moved, it was like a little garden shed somewhere on Valley Street in the 70s. He and his brother moved it
Oh,
to this spot. So, that's it.
Again, the applicant proposes to install a 3-foot to 4-inch, but we can, as long as it's no greater than
Right.
4 feet. Wooden picket fence, either stained or painted white, along the eastern and along the, I'm sorry, not the eastern, along the northern property line. as you see here in this one.
And this would even have like a little gate, like a picket gate.
Yep.
If you see, yeah.
And then per the design guidelines, as we've gone over, fences either have to be wood, metal, those kind of materials. Secondly, the applicant proposes to add a shed porch extension to the western elevation onto the existing building and add wood windows, metal exterior lighting, and replace and add 5V metal roofing as shown in the rendering below. So this is what it looks like now. This is the west elevation, so this, just imagine the shed extension coming off here. That's the garage, that's kind of the bay into it, so that's facing Dale Street. And then here's the rendering. So all this would be wood. The windows would have to have the munds on the outside.
Yeah, I actually have old windows
Yep.
for this, so I've restored old windows.
And then this would pretty much just imagine the bay being filled with a bay window area. That's the garage door now. And then it is already does have, if we see here, it already does have 5V roofing on it. So adding 5V to it would not be a problem as part of the keeping a cohesive design. There are some parts of the roof that are a little worse for wear, so some parts would need to be replaced with 5V metal roofing. But again, that is allowed according to the ordinance. If you have any questions for me about the design or any of the proposals before the applicant fills you in on any more
I
information,
don't think
can.
so. I think so. You have anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I think that's, yeah, unless you, we're just going to do clapboard.
You're
Siding.
just, what you're doing is taking that shed, and adding a porch
Correct.
on the west face of it.
Yes.
Okay. And then you're adding a fence.
Yes,
With a
and then
gate.
also the bay window.
Okay.
And window, I mean, it would, the door and a window too. on that
On
west
the
side.
north side, facing
So
the
the
north?
bay will be on the north, yes.
Okay.
And then
the
the
fence
west
will be on the
side
north.
would, obviously adding another window and the door. yeah.
Okay.
And as far as lighting, I'll probably do something similar, that's just, I can find that's antique brass,
Yeah.
preferably, and but kind of lantern style.
Okay.
Are you changing, is that a new door?
It will be an old, actually, door. I mean, it's new to this, but no,
Okay.
I'm just doing
We just like to have
yes.
everything written down.
It's
so
just
there's never a question.
architectural salvage stuff that I've been hoarding for husband. So, yeah.
Okay, so to reiterate, we've got
Yes.
really three parts to this one. One is
Right.
a porch added to the west front of the shed.
Correct.
A fence on the north side, 3 to 4 feet with a gate, a picket
Yes.
fence there. And then the garage door opening, changing that to a bay window.
Correct, yes.
Okay. All right.
And you said it's going to be clapboard siding.
Yeah.
And then what about color? Have you?
I actually pulled up, did I send you the photos of some inspiration? So I might do like a dark blue and white trim on that.
We saw that picture.
They might be in
Yeah.
your packet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was in the packet. It's such a transformation, I didn't catch on that it was the same place.
Yeah. Hopefully it will be.
Here, Mrs. Hurley, if you want to have
Oh,
this to
okay.
point out to what they might be looking at.
And the fourth part of your application is the lighting, which will be similar to the lighting that you're getting with the other house.
Yes.
Okay. Okay? Any further discussion or questions? Public comment? Anybody ready to make a motion?
It's Brooke's turn.
So I make a motion to approve the third COA with the addition of the front porch on the western side, the bay window on the northern side, picket fence with a gate to be painted white,
Yes.
and lanterns, lights on
Yeah.
the front door at the front door.
On the
Yeah, that's
salvage
the
door.
And, yes.
Okay, that was it. Okay? Did you get that?
Yes.
All right. All right, the motion has been made by Ms. Bond.
All right.
Any further discussion?
I'll second the motion.
Ms. Hartshorn seconds the motion. No further discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mrs. White,
Aye.
and Mrs. Bunn.
Aye.
Thank you for your time.
Didn't either. Thank you. Good luck. All right, well, this is actually our fourth one. And we also have with public comment, Vicki Wampler. Do you want to make a comment before your application? You had signed up for the public comment. Oh, okay, okay, we'll proceed then. Okay, we'll proceed. Okay, all right, okay, all right.
So Vicky Wampler, applicant/owner, has requested approval of a certificate of appropriateness to add a deck, enclose the back porch, replace windows, and construct a fence. The property is located at 102 West Valley Street.
Laryngitis. I'm sorry.
Oh,
There was one other thing in there. Did you see the basement windows?
yeah, that's part of it.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
gotcha.
getting to that.
Let him finish.
Vicki I'm sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
hold on. So the applicant proposed the following OHCOA items. The deck, construct a deck the length of the home, 33 feet, with side steps to left. So this is what it looks like now. This is a elevation view. This is an aerial view. 53 inches height. Materials to consist of treated lumber for flooring and supports. Support posts to be enclosed in Trex composite sleeves. Front wood beam to be surrounded by white flashing. Top railing and post to be flex composite, same as cottage. And then you'll see the pictures here. 1x6 deck boards and 6x6 support posts. To enclose the porch, the applicant would like to replace the back exterior door, as you see in your packet, with a 15-panel metal glass door, same as side, to be painted white. Replace old aluminum trailer windows with insulated replacement windows, same as material as home, 5 feet tall by 7 feet wide, front window and 2 side windows, 1 outdoor light on the left side, and replace sensor lights, replace any missing or damaged siding. The basement, replace 3 non-functioning windows falling out, picture included. I'll show you that. So there's one right here that you can see, which is covered by that. Fence, construct a white Gothic style fence, which this is the same one that you had approved previously for when the cottage came before you. That's in the back, so it's the same style of fence.
Okay.
That's already there. On the back sides or all the way around, and install a solar powered gate. Fence to be the same as cottage in back, previously installed and approved. Wood and painted white, pictures below. So again, here's what the back of the house looks like now. Here's an elevation view. Trex would be allowed in this case because this house is a non-contributing resource. It was built in the 1940s and it has a low level of historical integrity. So in the past, the board has allowed Trex material to be used when it's connected to a non-contributing part. That's also why the windows are not as seen as contributing, is because the house is a non-contributing. Here's the aerial view of it, so just to show you that. That's where that tri-part window would go when they enclose the porch. Some more photos. And then in your packet you see the windows and the door.
What are trailer windows? I didn't know
It's
what that
these
meant.
right here. It's these kind. They're like
They're a
aluminum.
metal, aluminum,
Aluminum windows.
like they used to put in,
Okay.
Yeah.
they're
They're
not insulated or anything, they're just metal.
Yeah.
Aluminum, right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of the house having a low level of historical integrity, is because the windows, everything else has been changed out. So that's why it's non-contributing also. If you have any questions for me, I can
Okay.
answer them. If not, the
I
applicant's
think-
here.
I think this
We don't
house
want-
was built in maybe 1940s.
40s, it's.
40s, yeah, right. Questions? Would you have a question?
I just, we don't want to make her talk too much, so do you have anything you want us to say or ask us?
Oh, you have laryngitis, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I can talk, but it comes and goes.
Well, do you have anything to add that's important?
No?
Did
Do you
he
like my
describe it- Did he
drawings?
describe that? Did he describe it well?
I think he did a good job.
Okay,
Thank you.
so basically, you've got a deck going on the back of the house.
Mm-hmm.
You also have, you're going to replace those windows. What is the reason for the replacement?
Those windows they're aluminum, they're not insulated,
Right,
and they won't open and close.
Well,
Okay.
and you said they're falling out.
Yeah, they won't even, they're not functional.
and you're going to construct a fence?
we want to continue the
The fence
fence
that you've
that's
put
on
in the
my,
back, in the back of it?
around
Your
it.
house.
Okay.
This one's right. Okay.
Okay. And I think we used, didn't you use some Trex back there?
Yeah.
Yes,
For the cottage, yeah,
Yeah.
for the railing
Right.
and everything.
And the basement windows,
they're doing the same thing.
doing the
They're-
same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
mhm.
And again, just for the board's information,
Yes.
usually if the windows are original or an early
Right.
part of it, you would want them to be preserved.
Yeah.
But because the building's non-contributing, the windows are non-contributing, it's easier to allow them to be a replacement.
This property has had a lot
Yeah,
A
it was
lot
like that when we
of
got it.
change
so-
to it over the years.
Yes,
sure,
ma'am.
Yes. Okay, all right, so did that summarize pretty well?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Questions?
Get it. So the fence we approved last year or something to go on your house, you're going to continue it on her house, just the same
Same kind of
orientation
fence.
and everything?
Same white.
Same white, everything, height and everything,
Yes,
materials?
ma'am.
Okay. Go ahead, yeah.
Oh,
Can you come up here? Could you come up here? Yeah.
She included in here to go on all the sides or in the back.
Okay, to go around.
So we want to
So-
put it around if we could.
The front yard? Is
Yeah,
that what you're saying, the front and then the side?
it just needs one side in the front and a half of the other.
So what was this picture here with the driveway? Are you making a change to this?
No, she was just showing you where the fence could be.
The additional length of the
If
fence?
we didn't go all the way around the house, and we only went from the back of the house, that was the feature from the back. part
Just
of
the
house
side of it.
To the back,
Okay,
which included the driveway.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Or we could go all the way around the house.
and
We have
that
a
was your
grandbaby.
preference?
I
Either-
understand.
Do you have a preference?
She prefers around the house, which is just one side in the front. Half of it's already been fenced on the back
But
anyway.
you have two gates now that you don't currently have, or you do have a gate?
I have gates.
The ones on this picture are already here?
No,
No,
that ain't
that
nothing.
would be there.
So with your fence, we're putting in two gates. We just want to get everything.
No,
on
okay,
the motion.
let's explain this. If you put it all the way around,
Yeah.
we'll have a front gate and a side gate. If you just put it on to the end of the house, it'll be two gates on each end.
Okay.
What is the height of the picket
36
fence?
inch.
All the way
The
around?
same as the existing fence at the cottage.
Okay.
And
It
these
would
gates
come-
are identical to the cottage gates?
They would be.
It would come up to the sidewalk. Is
Yes.
that what you're,
Because of the right of
Right.
way, we could only go out to the end of the sidewalk if we go all the way around the house, right?
Yes,
Is that right,
that's
Julie?
where you have to put it.
I would just make sure that before you have it installed, make sure you know where the right-of-way is there. Usually the sidewalk is, but just to make sure on that.
That's where the pins are.
Yep. And I would also make sure I know that there's utility poles along Church Street, and I know looks like you're extending it here. Make sure you're not within an easement that AEP or somebody owns, because then
I know where every easement is there. They've been
Yeah.
working on their street for.
Yep. And I just say that just because they could come out if they need to do a repair, improve
We
upon
watched them
something.
dig up all the easements for the gas lines, the cable, everything.
Yep. So I just say that just because they can come over and
They,
say,
they
remove
just
it.
put a new box in the ground there.
Oh,
Shows us where it's at.
Yep.
Right at that pole.
Yep. So that's all I would just make sure on.
Thank you.
The material of the fence, of the picket fence?
It's that white wood,
Wood.
Gothic.
Just what you've got in the back?
Yes,
the-
ma'am.
The wooden fence that you've got in the back, okay. All right,
and this is the door she's looking at?
yes,
Okay.
okay. All right,
Have my
ready?
notes.
Any further questions?
I just wanted to ask, just options to do both or one, and then we can decide.
On the fence?
On the fencing?
All the way around
Okay.
or just black.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's on that paper like that, isn't it? Okay.
okay, that's fine, yes. All right,
I can make a stab at it.
all right.
All right, I'm going to make a motion that we approve Ms. Wampler's application to, number one, put the deck along the whole 33-foot deck, the whole back of the house,
As
as
presented.
presented. And that will include, after that, you're going to use the Trex material, that's, okay, but then you're going to put the 15-panel back door, replace the current back door, you want to replace the windows with, do we have a picture of those?
Yeah, they're in your packet.
Okay, with the windows that's presented.
Mhm.
And then going to, also the basement windows and the back porch, the back of the house windows. And then the option to extend the fence either halfway or into the two areas that you have in your drawing. And if
Which is the back of the house.
With the back of the house.
Or just around.
Right,
up to the sidewalk, if that's where the easement goes.
that's an option, option one or
I will
option
check on that.
Yeah.
easement.
two. Okay,
And so if you go with option one, you'll have one gate. If you go with option two, you'll have two gates, and they'll match the current look of what you have around the cottage.
Right.
Okay.
okay.
I think that's
Got
all
that,
of it.
Crystal?
Is that good?
I think there were two gates.
Either way, there's two
Yeah,
gates.
mhm,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
2 gates either way.
All right.
Okay,
I think that's it.
good.
I will second that.
Second by Ms. Vaughn. Any further questions or discussions? You certainly can, but you need to come up.
Can you come up to the?
Make sure they have that list.
Well, I know, but on the fence, I just wanted to make, because they keep the 2 gates, correct, and then there's also the solar-powered gate.
Oh, I forgot
to the
about that.
driveway
Okay.
That I needed to.
The solar power gate will be like the fence, the wood fence. The only thing you're doing is you're adding a solar thing on the back of it that will open and close
To the driveway.
to the driveway.
We have a lot of people turning around in the driveway.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you do.
So
I'm
it's gonna
sorry, I
go
didn't
across the
realize I
driveway.
didn't ask.
But it isn't going to look any different? No,
It's all
okay.
gonna mimic, we'll just put a
Okay.
solar on there to where it
Oh,
opens
okay,
and closes.
Okay.
Based on the.
I think
As
that's
long as it's
irrelevant.
on the back of the fence, not seen really.
Yeah.
And you can, if you want to paint it.
Yeah, to be on
white.
the back side.
Okay, so do I need to amend my motion or just add that to
I
it?
think we could
That's in
amend.
there, so you could just say as presented with.
As presented.
Okay,
All righty. All right.
thank you all.
Roll call?
Mr. Hartshorn? Mrs. Hartshorn? Sorry, I stuttered there for a minute, I apologize.
Aye.
Mrs. White?
Aye.
There we go, that one was easier. And Mrs. Bond?
Aye.
Thank you,
I'm sorry I
for now.
interrupted.
thank you.
Merry Christmas.
You too. I hope you feel
Laryngitis
better.
goes away. Okay. All right, Michael McLaughlin and Susan Mayhew.
Okay.
All right.
Michael G. McLaughlin and Susan L. Mayhew, applicant/owner, have requested approval of a certificate of appropriateness for the removal and replacement of all existing painted wooden, double-hung, true divided light windows. The property is located at 117 West Valley Street and 212 Mason Place. According to Places of Time, Volume 2, written by Nancy C. King, the H.M. Elliott House was built in 1928. The house remained in the family until 1978. According to the Department of Historic Resources, DHR, both buildings are located within the Abington Historic District that was designated in 1986. Both are considered a contributing resource within the Abington Historic District expansion, which was established again in 1986. The applicant proposed to remove all existing painted, wooden, double-hung, true divided light windows with painted, wood-clad, either in vinyl or aluminum, double-hung simulated divided light windows. The applicant request is based on the existing windows containing asbestos, plate glass, and being painted shut. Based on documentation and field observation, staff can determine all existing windows associated with the main building and all windows associated with the accessory building are original or an early addition to the buildings and are contributing architectural features to each. All painted aluminum storm windows are a non-contributing architectural feature. First, according to the asbestos report produced by Taff and Fry, caulking associated with the windows and doors tested positive for asbestos. However, the caulking itself is not part of the window or doors themselves, but used as an insulator between a window or door and the brick veneer or the actual structure. All windows and doors should remain, and the asbestos caulking or any other asbestos mitigated properly. That's based on the guidelines. When windows or doors are original, they should be maintained or preserved. Second, plate glass is an appropriate type of glass to be used, given the date of construction being 1928. Plate glass became heavily used in the 19th and early 20th centuries due to industrialization. As an existing building, the plate glass would be acceptable because no changes would occur. There's the exception in the building code that allows it for plate glass to be there. The only instance where plate glass would need to be replaced with tempered glass is if a window is within a bathroom, depending on the window's location within the space. And lastly, once operable, historic windows have been painted shut or nailed shut for many years. It's a common practice that has happened. However, these painted and nailed shut windows can be made operable again by either removing existing paint in an appropriate and safe manner, or nails can be removed. Overall, all aspects of the existing painted, wooden, double-hung, true divided light windows, except for the aluminum storm windows, are in keeping with the 1928 construction date, and the replacement of these windows would greatly diminish and threaten the historical integrity of both buildings. Here's just some photos to show you. So this is before the roof was replaced. You can see the storm windows that are over these, but behind it's the actual wood windows.
The roof looks great.
I hear windows are recommended to be preserved if they are a contributing part of the building. They're supposed to be preserved or maintained. Same thing here for this one, too. If you have any questions for me, more than happy to
Questions for
answer.
Gabe? Okay, it's your turn.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Michael McLaughlin again, and this is Susan Mayhew. And if I may have the liberty of having a few minutes to
You
talk.
may have the liberty.
I'd really never seen this house, really never paid any attention to it. And Susan hadn't either, I don't think, until we happened to be driving through Abingdon on about mid-September of this year. And we saw it, and we saw the for sale sign in the yard. And we thought that this house is soon going to be down on the ground. It's obviously about as deteriorated a place as you can find in this town and around Southwest Virginia. And we spoke to Peyton Boyd, and within 2 weeks, we owned the house. And we bought it on October the 1st of this year. It's never been our intent to change the look of this house from what it was in 1928. But we would like it to look like it did in 1928. We think it's a time to rebuild this house. We think it's a time to save this house. But in saving this house, that doesn't mean that we can save every piece and part of this house. Some of the things in the house have to be replaced. One of the things that makes this house beautiful is the windows in the house. The house has, in the second and third floor, 49 windows. That's for a house that's only 2,400 square feet. That's truly a terrific number of windows. Those windows, though, are not uncommon windows. They are not in and of themselves, any individual window is not an architectural piece that stands out. It's the arrangement of the windows and the number of windows in it that gives it its architectural significance. The windows, though, the condition of the windows is not good. The windows that are in that house today, unlike when we came here to talk to you about the ceiling tiles, we said we can't match the look of the roof shingles exactly because they quit making that. So we got something to substitute that was good. But we can buy windows that have this same look as what you see here. We can buy those. They are buyable. And we can replace the windows in the house with new windows. New windows that have insulated glass, that have raised muntins on them, that look like these did in 1928. We can replace them with that. Safe windows. These windows have asbestos right now. They have plate glass. And plate glass may not mean much to a lot of people, but I've got grandkids. When I was about 10 or 11 years old, I had a little run-in with plate glass. I was playing in our yard with 2 or 3 neighbor kids, and we were playing kind of a hide-and-seek thing. And I went down in the basement, and one of the boys was pushing the window in to try to get in the window to get at us. And I put my hand on this plate glass window to push it back the other way. And when I did that, the window broke on my hand. It was easy to break. I pulled my hand back, and where I'd cut my arteries in my hands, the blood shot in my eyes. And that's when I learned that plate glass windows break in large charges. I brought you a piece of a plate glass window. Look at it for yourself. They are highly, highly dangerous windows for kids if you press on them or do something to them. There may be a lot of them around here, but that doesn't make them any less dangerous. They are very dangerous for kids. Those are the two fingers. You might notice a little difference from that one and that one. Plate glass. I don't want my grandkids to have that problem. Those windows are not safe. The asbestos creates a problem. Susan's going to describe the conditions of the windows to you a little more here in a moment or two. But asbestos can be removed, as I understand it, in the United States either by licensed contractors, or you can do it yourself if you're crazy enough to do it, unless you know all about the rules and so forth, and how to do it. I don't know all of those things, and I'm not going to remove the asbestos myself. Since we have had this house, I've had 2 of the 3 largest asbestos removing companies in this region come and look at this house about removing the asbestos from it. I've sought bids from them. I've obtained an asbestos report, which you should have in your files. We had asbestos in the shingles. We had it on the siding. We had it in pipes down below, and we had it in tile. We've removed it in all those things so far. We have not removed it as of yet in the windows, as you know. The windows have been, the reason that most of them won't open, they've been painted open. And asbestos fibers can go, they're microscopic, they can go everywhere. The paint that's there, Susan's going to show you that, is brittle and breaking. Unless somebody sands this whole place down, and it's probably also lead paint. Unless somebody sands it down, you really can't put epoxy on it or do something like that. You've got to clean it up. She'll describe that to you more in a moment. So, asbestos to deal with in the windows. You've got plate glass. The windows won't open and shut. Most of them won't. And they're just in really poor condition. They're brittle. They're a 97-year-old window right now. We bought this place, and it has to be something that somebody can live in, somebody can stay in. It just can't. This is not a museum piece. It's got to be a working house. We're saving the floors, the walls, the building itself. And when you look at it, if we put these windows back in, it's going to look more like it did in 1928 than it does now, because there's another thing we can do by putting the insulated glass in, and that is we can take the storm windows off the house. The storm windows, this house probably hadn't had the, I hate to say this, probably hadn't had the windows washed in it in 30 years. Really difficult to wash the windows when you got storm windows on. But if we can put insulated windows on this house, you'll see the 1928 window without any storm windows. And we can clean these windows and make it look good. Susan, let me turn this over to you.
Let me make just one point while we're looking at this photo, if I could. Susan, make you, if I may. See the reflection of the light? These are the storm windows reflecting that light. You can't even see the architectural nature of the window because of the storm window hiding that as light reflects. I do have a sampling of photos that I'd like to distribute to you guys, if I could. On the front, simply a before and after. That's just 1 month. That's October 1st versus November 1st, before we came to you with roof requests
such. But behind that, just to show you we're really serious about making this house look better. We want to make it beautiful again, and we'd like to do it quickly before we lose enthusiasm about the project. But if you look through these selection of photos, the photos, I took some, Mickey has taken some. They're from most of the rooms in the house. They reflect windows on all sides of the house, some inside, some outside views, and then towards the back you'll see 3 photos of the cottage windows. And as you scan through these photos, you'll see varying levels of decay and rot. You'll see missing muttons, broken wood on windows. You'll see painted cords on the operational functioning of the windows. You'll see warped windows where they won't shut completely. There'll be gaps where the light's coming through the bottom or the top. Obviously, peeling paint. I think it's probably been decades since the house has been painted, which takes its toll on the asbestos caulking that is in all of the windows, window framing on the house. And this type of asbestos, and I'll give you a little info in case you're not as familiar with it, like reading, but it's a quick read. This particular type of asbestos, given the weather condition, is highly friable. And what that means is it can flake off. And someone like me, who'd be the one largely cleaning the windows, if it, there's been a suggestion that perhaps it can be encapsulated in epoxy. I argue that it cannot. It's too damaged. It's too friable. It'd have to be removed. And if the windows are not completely removed in the frames, the person cleaning that window, me, I'm always going to wonder, did they get all that? Did they encapsulate all that? I shouldn't have to clean my windows wearing a P100 asbestos mask. And I should have brought one because I have some that we've been using in the house because we've dealt with a lot of asbestos removal. But it looks like a miniature gas mask, the P100 mask. So it's not a typical coated looking mask. So that caulking is highly friable and highly dangerous for inhalation, even by just taking a damp cloth and wiping the window down. So these factors, I can only open one window. That's me. I think Mickey maybe could open more than me. I could open one window of the 49 with ease, and it operated like it should. So there's a safety factor, egress, for the windows. There's an emergency. There's a safety factor, as Mickey pointed out, with plate glass. A human carcinogen in the asbestos, cancer-causing substance. Huge energy inefficiency from warped windows, poorly maintained surfaces of both the storm windows and the original windows. While each of these, and there's rot, I mean, there's just damaged windows, some substantially damaged windows. While each of these individually may not be reason to replace these windows, when you look at the cumulative effect of all of these factors, really costly to restore these windows. When you add that to the cost of removing the asbestos, which we would want to do, we'd want it completely removed. And Mickey maybe can talk about that. The companies who we have bid on this, unless they discard the windows and the window frames, they cannot give us a clear certificate of removal of the asbestos. They can't guarantee it. They won't guarantee the work. So that presents an insurance problem for us. But it's a cost factor too. It will cost substantially more for us to repair these windows and remove the asbestos than replacing with a high quality, architecturally accurate insulated window for energy efficiency. We've got significant air infiltration in the house, even with the storm windows in place right now. Significant heat loss. So we want to make this house pretty again, and we can. We can put great-looking windows, custom-made for this house to meet the tax credit guidelines. Mickey can talk about that if you want to, for replacement windows in historical homes.
Well, your guidelines specify that, if it's necessary, that you can replace the windows and what the guidelines are for replacing them. And that's what we are really asking you for today. We just want to, we're not asking you for a redesigned look for the house, except we want it to enhance what's already there. We do want to have, we want to put vinyl or aluminum on the cladding on most of the outside of these windows, except for the front four, which are nearest the road. We would put just wood windows there, as you specify in your plans. But I'm going to tell you, this is not the first time that Susan and I have been involved in a renovation project on a building, or putting new windows on a building. When I built my house about nearly 40 years ago in Grundy, I put individually divided light windows on it that were wood windows, inside and out. And it took, they gave a good warranty on them. In about 15 years, the outside of those windows began to rot. And it didn't look too good. The Appalachian School of Law also put individually divided light wood windows up all through the school, and they've been a big problem. The reason for that, in my opinion, is the wood that they had maybe 100 years ago was better wood than what it is today, so it lasts longer. I can't imagine what all those windows were later changed out that I've just described in my house. They've been repaired in the law school, most of them. But I can't imagine if you had 97 years with those windows, what they would look like, though. They'd just be collapsing. So we're asking to be able to use vinyl clad or aluminum on all of them except the front four, and we would make them pure wood. Although I think we can achieve the same look, the same coloration. That'd be wood on the inside. We're not going to change the way this house is supposed to look. We're just going to enhance it and make it look like it did. If you want a historical, we're going to make it look like it did in 1928 when somebody drove by the house. Hopefully, we'll have a better looking yard than they probably had in 1928. But we're excited about the project, and we'd like to put our foot down on the gas pedal and get this done. So we're here to ask for your approval. And what we would like to ask you for would be a resolution. I've got a little motion here. Could I read it to you?
You certainly may.
Okay. That due to the present condition of the windows in the house located at 117 West Valley Street and the cottage located behind it at 212 Mason Place in Abingdon, Virginia, that it is necessary that the windows be replaced in these structures, and that Michael G. McLaughlin and Susan L. Mayhew, the owners of the house and cottage, are permitted to replace these windows in the wall of the house nearest to Valley Street, that's these front four, with new wood windows with insulated glass appropriate to the period and the style of the building. These windows should be insulated glass, simulated divided light with raised muntins permanently attached to the face of the glass. They are permitted to replace the remaining windows in the buildings with new windows appropriate to the period and style of the buildings. These windows should be wood windows or wood windows clad in vinyl or pre-finished aluminum with insulated glass, simulated divided light with raised muntins permanently attached to the face of the glass. And most of that language is right out of your all's guidelines for windows on page 16, except we added the language insulated glass in it. But we believe that based on the condition, if you look at those pictures, and you're welcome to come over to the house and we'll show it to you if you'd like to see these things. You can see them for yourself. We believe that they need to be replaced. And I can assure you that I thought that the windows were good enough to stay there. We wouldn't want to spend the money to replace these windows. So we're here today to ask that. And it makes me think of a verse in the Bible, Ecclesiastes chapter 3. There's a time and a place for everything. And part of that is there's a time to keep and there's a time to throw away. And it's time to throw away these windows and put some new ones in. And there's a time to rebuild also. And it's time to rebuild this house and save it. If we're going to do it right now, we want to do it. We want to make this place great. We want to make this a place when people drive through Abington that they'll see a house that really looks nice there. And hopefully you'll be glad to have it in your neighborhood. That's our desire. And we don't want to architecturally diminish anything. But also we want a house that works, that's affordable, that's energy efficient, and it's safe, not only for adults, but also safe for little kids to live in. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you both very much.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, we do. And before we start, I do want to reiterate what I said at the very beginning of this, which is very true. Our aim is to be a bridge of support between our ordinance and the property owners making changes. Honestly, what you're asking us is very difficult. I mean, this is the integrity of the windows in a contributing structure, which you have, is a priority architectural feature that we hold very, very dear. Our guidelines are very, very difficult for us to deviate from that. So this is a hard place we're in. So just bear with us while we do the discussion. And let's see, we only have one person in the public. Do you have a public comment? Not at this time. Do you have a question?
I'm listening to all your concerns, and I think they're very valid with the asbestos and everything. And one of the questions that I had is the picture that you've enclosed is not the same window.
It isn't.
Okay.
It's
They
the only one
look
they
like that,
had.
we'd be all right.
It's the only one they had at Barry's that I could take a photo of. It was close in nature,
Right.
but we would actually get windows that made exactly.
The Muntons would be like they are in the windows right now.
So this was just
That
to
was
prove that they
that-
make windows that are
That
similar.
are
Yeah.
similar, but we would get custom-made windows that had the exact pattern and profile of these windows. There are 3 companies that we believe can do that. We've gotten a quote from one, Marvin Windows, Pella Windows, and Anderson Windows. There may be another company out there, but they're a really high-quality, energy-efficient window that can be custom-made
Right.
to match the exact style and pattern and profile of those windows.
And I guess my other question was, when you're mentioning that you just wanted to do the 4 windows wood and make these other windows vinyl clad, that's,
Or aluminum.
why that? Why not the whole
Because
house?
your rules,
Well, we'd rather have the whole
rather do
house.
the whole house that
That
way.
way.
Your rules have something in them about front windows closest to
Being
the
winter
road.
wood or-
I don't agree with that personally, but that's in your rules. So we've tried to develop our resolution to say, based on your rules, to say that we could do, if you find, we think it's necessary to replace those windows. It's time for them to go. So if we do that, this would be replacing those windows pursuant to your rules.
That being said, we would prefer all of them to be vinyl clad or aluminum clad over
We
wood
sure would.
for the durability and longevity of the window. That would be our preference. We were trying to find, hopefully, middle ground.
I have a question. So you've given us these pictures here. So there are probably varying degree, where is this window?
That is the back of the cottage.
That's in the cottage, it's not in the main house.
No, there are 3 pictures at the very back.
Uh-huh.
I can point those out. Right, step forward.
Here you go.
Yeah, the 3.
All of these are the cottage.
3 on the cottage, you'll see their center block, it's a center block building.
Right,
Their 2 pictures are in the center block, this is on the back.
Yeah.
Facing nothing but bushes. In fact, there's only one set of windows that faces Valley Street on that cottage. The cottage faces Mason Place.
Yeah.
If you guys
Right.
probably know that. It has an address of Mason Place. It's hidden in large measure behind the main house. There is a double set of windows that are visible from Valley Street. Granted, they're probably 100+ yards back and set back behind the house, but there's only 2 double hung windows that are visible from Valley Street. Those are on the back side. I don't think that, I couldn't open any of the other ones. I think maybe in that front room I can get some up like that much.
I rode up there carefully of the last couple of days and looked very closely, and I haven't in the past, but I did look closely. And, you know, we've got this picture here, and you've included some of these pictures also.
Yeah, that picture probably is as good a picture as you could take of any window from the
The one
appropriate
claimed.
distance from the house. But if you focus in on that, you can see cracks down in the paint
Yes.
that are around it. and
Well, I
so
mean,
forth
I
like
mean, I
that.
do think obviously, excuse me for interrupting you. I do think obviously, I mean, of course, they need painting. I didn't see a lot of deterioration in the windows when I looked at them. I would like for, I mean, Gabe, have you looked at the windows, and could you, the issue would be, we definitely have a hard, fast rule of repair rather than replace. And unless the replacement is necessary because of extreme deterioration, it puts us in a very bad spot. So that is the issue here, is the fact that, I mean, for instance, we just had the courthouse windows there, and we did not let them replace those windows.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, you sure can.
So the cost to repair the windows, about equivalent to the cost to replace the windows. Pretty comparable. You're still left with an energy inefficient window, and you haven't removed the asbestos. When you add the cost of asbestos removal to the repair of these windows, I would hope the board would consider cost considerations. The cost substantially increases. And we don't believe we would hope you would consider that in making your decision.
Certainly we've given you one of the federal supplements on this. Certainly cost is a factor in this. So far, as I said, we've had 2 of the largest asbestos removers in the area on the property. Most contractors are not licensed to do asbestos removal. And so far, we have spent on the area somewhere close to like $20,000 on removing the beat and bang asbestos. And by beat and bang, I mean somebody like me can come in and you can just rip it off and throw it away. Well, these windows can't be done that way. They're not beat and bang it and you get it off and go on, throw it down on the ground and go forward. It's going to take somebody that is very delicate if you were to redo them. I mean, you have to sand all these things. You're going to have to be wearing a mask. You're going to have to sand them down to get all these things off of them. And I've been told that, the glass breakage rate in something like that can run as high as like 80% in doing that. But so far, I have not received, even just to remove the windows from the rough openings, and I've already gotten removers bids for moving the other stuff, and we've got it out. I have not even received one single solitary bid yet for even taking the windows out, much less trying to get them and sand them down, finding people to do that quite difficult.
And if I may, if we were able to find somebody to repair the windows, they'd have to be certified and licensed to remove asbestos. I don't know that anybody like that exists here. We've tapped, we go through a lot of asbestos removal through the College of Pharmacy. We've dealt with a lot of buildings in that manner, and we're pretty well versed in asbestos removal. But finding somebody to do all these things, I don't know that they exist.
And, you know, the first rule about asbestos now in construction is, and I'm not a contractor or anything, but I have been the owner or on a owner's representative in regard to a lot of building projects, including some rather large ones that have been renovations of older buildings. And one of the first rules is we get rid of all of the toxins on the building to start off with. If there's asbestos there, we bring in the asbestos removal people first. If you're going to tear a building down, you bring in the asbestos removal people first and get rid of that. And quite frankly, in bidding out projects today, I remember I had the Garden Elementary School torn down, and it cost more money to remove the asbestos from it than it cost to tear the whole building down. And it was like a 28,000 square foot brick, concrete, steel building. It's not an inexpensive thing to deal with. And of course, when they tore it down with heavy equipment and so forth. But individuals had to go in it and get the asbestos out. That has to be a factor. You know, we didn't buy this house. I mean, somebody can look at this as, you know, well, you've got to do it this way, you've got to do it that way. But there are safety and money limits on it. You know, the house was for sale for several years. If somebody here in town really wanted to preserve those windows that badly, they could have bought this house, and they could have come in there and they could have fixed it up themselves. It's been for sale. We want to make it the best we can, but there are limitations on where we can go to with this thing. And
Well, we understand that. We totally understand that, and we are genuine in our wish to, you know, be this bridge of support. But I do maintain that we're in a pretty bad spot right here. It is a significant part of any contributing building are the windows. And I have a question for Gabe now. So, is there any difference in the way the cottage can be treated and the way in the main house? I mean, being a secondary building and being in the back, and it looks like this is where the windows that are deteriorated beyond.
Can I see that?
Yeah. That is a big issue, is the fact that is the state of the window.
This is on the
Is it
back of the cottage?
repairable?
yes,
Okay. So these right here, as you can see, this is where the window was before.
Well, it's still there.
Well, I know, but this is the opening. They created a new one. They created a new one here. That is a non-original window, unlike the ones that you see here and on the front. That's where there can be maybe some leniency in terms of if there is like, for example, this window here, that's obviously been replaced. It's aluminum, kind of like what we saw on 102 West Valley Street.
Yeah.
There can be some leniency there with that. In terms of the guidelines, if they are original, they should be maintained and preserved and restored. And for here too, just because it's been brought up, I'll just say in the Secretary of Interior Standards, it says for windows not recommended, replacing windows from the restoration period, which we're just going with 1928, solely because of peeling paint, broken glass, stuck sash, or high air infiltration. These conditions in themselves do not indicate that the windows are beyond repair. So,
Did not include asbestos.
but you can still
I mean, you
replace
do-
No,
asbestos.
carcinogen.
You do have your asbestos issue, but the windows, the fabric of the windows themselves is not coming apart. I mean, we have seen sometimes that when you touch the wood, it just sort of comes apart in your hands.
I think some of those pictures look that way.
Well, of what we're saying, that is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is that those that we're seeing like that seem to be on the cottage.
Yeah, and it seems like that's, like I said, that's one that's a non-original, that's
Uh-huh.
been replaced. That's where the leniency can be with those. that's like one like this. The one that I see here. Was there more photos of this?
I do have a concern about the asbestos leaching out into the air, or, I mean,
I don't want to be the one cleaning.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like that's really a dangerous topic that we haven't had to deal with yet. I mean, it has, this is the first time this has come up to the board since, and so I think that we're just really trying to discuss it in from every point, but
As a healthcare provider and professional for over 30 years, asbestos is a big concern to me. And as I said, I don't want to have to wear an asbestos mask to go around and clean my windows. Whether they're encapsulated or whether they try to abate them, they can't guarantee they got it all. And I'm left wondering, did they get it all? Did they get it all? And it's highly friable right now because it's nearly 100 years old.
Yeah.
Friable means it's easily to be airborne, and that's the main concern with asbestos. You're not quite familiar with that.
how do they guarantee that if they do take them out and replace them, that they're getting it all?
They take everything out. They take
So-
the sashes, the window.
So you're not
frames.
losing you're losing every part of the window.
Yeah, we'd be completely
That's
replacing.
the only way they'll guarantee it.
Yeah,
And
take
we
it
get
down
an
to the rough
asbestos
opening and then we
certification.
build it back.
Because there are consequences for this, not only health consequences to the homeowner and constant concern, right, for health and safety, but it also impacts, asbestos there's an exclusive statement on most insurance policies. That it's hard to get insurance on homes that
You wanna show 'em
contain, sure, that contain asbestos.
This is from our
It's
insurance
shot around.
company.
The only insurance
In
we
regard
can
to the
get
window.
on the house right now is a restoration insurance. We're not allowed to live in the house right now because of its poor condition
We
and
didn't,
asbestos containing material.
we didn't know when we bought the house that the house had no insurance on it and that the insurance company had refused to insure it any longer due to the condition of the house. And in seeking, I talked to that insurance company and they'd had an inspector out there and they detailed all these things wrong with the house. And the only policy they were willing to give on it was a remodeling policy. And we ended up with our regular insurance carrier has issued a remodeling policy on it with this insurance does not provide coverage for any loss, damage, cost, claim, expense, bodily injury in any way dealing with a variety of things, and one of them is the asbestos in the house. And you'll see that down here. As used in this exclusion, pollutant means any solid, liquid, gaseous, or thermal irritant or contaminant, including but not limited to smoke, vapor, soot, fumes, acids, alkalis, asbestos, chemicals, and waste. And I think lead paint would probably also be inferred in this. So one thing you have in a lot of these old buildings, if my understanding is correct, this is my understanding, is asbestos as a building material didn't become prevalent in the United States until probably the mid to late 1920s. Gabe, you might know more about the timing on it. But a lot of the things that you have built in this town were actually constructed pre the asbestos era. And so you don't have to deal with that. With maybe some of the public buildings that are in this have tempered glass also rather than plate glass everywhere. And maybe their windows or something are in different places. They have thicker glass, whatever. But this glass is pretty brittle glass that's in there.
Could I ask another question?
Sure.
A clarifying question? And you do have two good asbestos abatement companies that you've employed. And are you saying that they've said they cannot remove the asbestos caulking? Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am. They can.
Well,
They will try to remove it. They will not certify
Well, one,
that it's completely gone.
let's focus on, one of them has said that. And that is one, we had one that did the study, and without saying any names, they didn't get back to us on the timing on when they could do any removal. And so we got the other company who got right on it and managed to do what we needed to do to get a roof on the house. And they are the company that has advised me that if they take it all out, they can certify that they got the asbestos, but if they were to go in and try to do something, a lesser thing, they couldn't certify that they had all the asbestos out.
Clarify what they mean by got it all. Do they mean what?
Every
They-
crumb.
That means there could be asbestos particles
Oh,
left. You know, this is,
You don't know where
There's-
it is.
these
They're
are
saying
micro
take the windows.
particles that can get in your lungs, and probably, you know, in my age category, it might not make any difference to me, but somebody that's much younger, over decades, problems are engendered by that, and it can cause what? Lung cancer, mesothelioma,
okay. I mean,
a
we don't.
variety of things
we don't
over
not-
decades.
We don't dispute at all the danger of asbestos. Ms. Bunn has a question.
Did you say that they could take the windows out, and if they take the windows out of the building and they were able to get the asbestos, they would certify it at that
They'd
point?
certify that
That was-
they had it out.
So a lot of homes in the historic district, when they're being renovated, a lot of these windows do have to be taken out and repaired. I mean, I know that happened in our house. We had to take every window out and have new cords, have, scrape down, all of that stuff. So that's not an unusual occurrence.
Did you have asbestos involved in that?
No, but my windows are 153 years old.
So you were really way beyond
Yeah.
before anybody was
Yes.
using asbestos.
But what I'm saying
in
is,
the United States.
that's not an unusual occurrence to take the windows out of
They
the
could-
house.
But even if they took it out, scraped it down, sanded it down, did whatever they needed to do to try their best to remove the asbestos, they're not going to certify that it's removed, even if you put that window back in.
But according to, I guess, what I understood from the packet, the asbestos is just in the caulking, not actually part of the window? Am I wrong with, or am I correct?
You're correct.
Okay.
The window itself, like the glue that holds it together or the connection
frame.
pieces, don't have asbestos. It's just the caulking around the opening. So imagine you put the window or door in a space, and like how we would do, you'd have a frame or flashing. They use asbestos for that, and that's where you could abate it.
But
just the
that's what's
caulking.
falling out into your house?
It is. There is debate. There's glazing and then there's caulking, and those are often used interchangeably. Glazing typically is between the glass and the muttons. Caulking usually is around the frame. I don't know, did they differentiate? Because
Well,
sometimes
those are different materials that are used, and they can be used
they can
for
use
the same purpose,
purpose.
basically.
Yeah.
I mean, to seal off the area, you can put it, caulking can be used to hold in the window, for instance, on the outside.
The glazing did not have any asbestos.
The caulking, just.
Just the
The
caulking.
glazing did,
The glazing did
but
not.
the caulking, the caulking does.
Okay, I'm going to circle back to the standard of repair rather than replace, unless it is beyond repair. And, I mean, that's what's giving us this issue. I mean, what would be the easiest thing of all would be for the asbestos to be abated, taking them out. I mean, the Bunns had to take every window out of that house down the street from you, and then put the original windows back. I mean, this is a contributing building, and the windows are one of the most important parts of it. That's why this is so difficult here. Is there?
Excuse me, if I may, do you know somebody who takes the windows out, repairs them, and is licensed to remove asbestos?
I don't know. I mean,
I didn't know if the board has dealt
I
with
mean,
that.
we have, no, I don't know, but we have a list of
we have a list of
um,
that can be looked at,
historic
but you've
repairs.
got two asbestos abatement firms that you're already talking to there too.
They're mainly
um,
demolition firms.
And
People don't
I'm
leave it
wondering if there is room to separate the main house from the cottage in the discussion. It looks like the windows, or to be able to talk about the windows that have sincerely deteriorated beyond, the ones that the two pictures that you saw, that both seem to be in the cottage.
Are these the two right here?
And those
Yeah.
are not original windows.
Those
So
are not
they're
original.
not the
So
same
we
windows.
we would exclude those from the,
And that looks like it's simulated divided light from what I can see. That's not doesn't have one there. So you could distinguish between any non-original window, like the ones that were presented in here, could be replaced with a new window. And then if it is the board's, I guess, decision to say, and then you would say all the original would have to asbestos abated and original windows maintained. But there is some leniency with some of the windows on the cottage that are on the back side.
any public comment anywhere? Byram? State your name.
Byram Geisler, 228 East Main Street. Just, this is obviously a very difficult issue. I think maybe something that Betsy's been elaborating on, but maybe that you all don't fully appreciate is that, for over 20, 30 years, multiple people have come before this board asking to replace windows in the historic district, and they have repeatedly been told no. And as a matter of fact, I believe the Nature Conservancy building, they actually had bought for and paid replacement windows, which were sitting on their front porch, and we told them they couldn't use them. So, Betsy, Ms. White has indicated what a big difficulty this is. That's the problem, is that so many other property owners have been told they can't do this. Now, I think that I don't remember there ever being an issue regarding asbestos. I don't think
I don't remember that either.
ever been before us, but
But
that's the real hurdle, is the precedence
is.
this could
It is.
possibly set. But
And whether or not the anxiety that I have for it is that the asbestos abatement firms, that's their job, and that the asbestos could be removed by taking the windows out, as they had to do, and others have done all over the district, and having them, abated.
I think the asbestos can be abated by just removing the windows. And we can make new windows that look like these. And it is an expensive thing to do that. But it assures the safety of the people that are going to work on the house and do things in the future and live in it. Because, just cleaning something that could have asbestos in it can expose you to it, because cleaning involves pressure, and pressure can release minute particles of
Yes,
asbestos.
we're definitely understandable of that, and what you said a little while ago. We are not experts in that, and I'm wondering if this should be tabled until further discussion or something. I feel like it is our job to really uphold this ordinance and to protect what the contributing buildings have, and their integrity, and windows are one of the most important pieces of the building.
But it's also our mission to work with you and not, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of things that I feel like I don't have enough information. I would like to talk to one of these asbestos, maybe come by your house, we do a little field trip and we can.
Well, they can talk to the company and maybe
Yeah.
get further. That's why I'm asking to possibly, what do you think about that, Gabe?
You can if you want. It's totally up to the board's decision to table it if you don't feel you have enough information. My job is just to state here's our ordinance, and then the preservation guy.
We have our option. Our option would be to make a motion to approve the application as presented to replace the windows, or to deny the application as presented to replace the windows. And if we do deny it, you have the option to appeal it. there is that route to go.
And how long does that process take?
You have to put a written appeal into the town manager within, I think, 30 days or so, and then it goes before the town council. So roughly a month, because it has to go before the town council.
And if new windows were sought, that's, even if we had a green light today, that's 6 weeks before you ever get custom-made windows, maybe longer. So, huge delay in a project we're enthusiastic about right now, but I don't know how enthusiastic we'll be in 6 weeks. So, it presents a real problem for us.
I understand that.
I mean, the key word is that necessary, and we think due to the extreme cost and time and trouble of trying to do anything else, that this is necessary. It's, you know, there's a time to keep and there's a time to throw away. And it's a time to keep the house, but to throw away the windows and put new ones in. It's something that has to be done. You know, when we think of the human body, we probably don't have any cells in our body today that we had in it when we were 10 years old. Probably all of them have been replaced at this point in time. My dad used to tell me about George Washington's axe. It had 12 new handles on it and 9 new blades, but it was still George Washington's axe because it descended down from that. And we've got to repair things, and we've got to replace things to repair them and to keep them. And we are very enthusiastic about making this house work. And but you know, enthusiasm has got to be maintained. And we think it's necessary, or we wouldn't be here with you.
Yes,
we believe that this is not a safe house with that, and we want to fix it. And we want to fix it right, and we want to fix it now. And if we had a different situation, that would be different. You do have asbestos in this house.
Yes.
And, you know, as I travel around town, I see a lot of places here that don't have nearly what we're talking about doing as far as the type of windows that they have in them, as far as the historical accuracy of the overall look and so forth. That's what this place will have if we do this. Because it will look like it did. It will.
Well, I mean, I don't think that any of us disagree with your intentions at all and applaud everything that you're doing. It's just that our charge is to protect this ordinance, and part of the ordinance, a main part of the ordinance, is the priority pieces of the architectural integrity of the buildings that are called contributing buildings. And basically, this is something that we just almost never do. I mean, the Secretary of Interior standards said, if it is beyond repair, and these do not look that way. So that is that is where we are, that we would be, I feel like I would be in dereliction of my duty at this point. But we can go forth and create a motion and see how we go on that. As I said, I mean, if it is denied, you can appeal it. Or the other option would be that we delay,
Or you could table it.
that we table it until you talk to the asbestos companies and try to come up with a more definitive way of abating it that would suit you and being able to save the windows.
With all due respect to the board, I appreciate the difficult position that you're in, the precedents that this would set, all the people who've been denied new windows, and the expense that I know the Buns and others have gone through. But it sounds to me that you're putting the integrity of architectural windows, which we could easily duplicate, exactly, in front of health and well-being of the occupants of the house. And energy efficiency, which is less important, but it is important for a functional home. And I guess that's my final thought of this. Is architectural integrity more important than the health and well-being of the owners and occupants of the house?
I think the question would hopefully be that with the delay, would be finding out if that is exactly the truth, if they could possibly give you a certificate of good health from that procedure.
Well, we know one company will not.
Mm-hmm.
The other company won't even bid on it.
Or hasn't yet, anyway. In fact, on the last job, as I said, without mentioning any names, we asked them to call us back on when they could come out and do anything, and they never have gotten back to us yet. So that's why we switched to the second company. So, I mean, this is not an easy matter to deal with exactly. But you have to have, unless you know somebody that's got all these licenses, you have to have somebody that can do the windows, and you have to have somebody that's an asbestos abatement license also. So,
Yes.
and you're going to be looking basically, if you put new windows in it, at the same look that you had in 1928. It'll just be a different piece of glass that's there and different wood around it.
Versus the liquid. Terrible storm windows that destroy the architecture.
You can take the storm windows down. I mean, I know we did.
We're going to take these down. We're not going to put any storm windows on. In fact, if that's not a requirement of you all, we'll take the storm windows down right away on the house.
Yeah. Many storm windows are gone.
Yeah.
All right. Would anybody like to make a motion, or would we like to make a motion to delay and have a called meeting?
Yeah, we could have a called meeting and not make you wait. I mean, there's only 3 of us here tonight. I feel like it's a full board kind of discussion, too.
I would just say Mr. Boyd would not be
Oh,
able
that's
to
true.
vote.
But Ms. Pillion, when she restored a house, and
What there needs to be is definitive about. I mean, we've never really had to deal with asbestos before, and whether or not it is really something that we should be dealing with.
I go back
Or
and
not.
read up on it.
Or not.
Virginia law, as I understand it, requires that for any house that's been constructed before 1985, that you have to file an asbestos report on it before you can get a building permit in Virginia.
Well, yes. I mean, if
So
things
you
were
should have a lot of those.
if things were simpler right this minute, it would be that the asbestos would be abated. You would have it abated, and repair the windows. I mean, that is the simplest forward thing. But it looks like the first part of that is what's difficult for you.
Well, I'm bothered by a lot of it. I mean, I'm bothered by the glass that's in the window. Not all glass. This glass is not the architectural low wavy glass. It's just ordinary plate glass window. It's not tempered glass. It's just old plate glass. I'm very. I mean, you didn't cut your fingers nearly off with it, so you may not be as bothered by it as I am. But I understand it, and the fact that you've denied somebody else, maybe you should have denied them, and maybe you shouldn't have. But if you shouldn't have denied them, continuing to do the wrong thing is not doing the right thing. You need to do what's right on any individual case. And so I don't know about the other cases. I'm not saying you did the wrong thing, but I'm saying in this case the right thing is to get rid of these windows and let us go ahead with this construction on this house so we can get it done while we have the enthusiasm to get it done. You look at me, I don't look like somebody that's got 100 years to work on it. What I want to do in life, I want to get done now, not 20 years from now. I hear some people say, well, I'm going to get to that 2 weeks from now. I'm saying I want to get to it right today. If I can do it, I want to get it done and get it over with. And that's my thinking about life generally. I want to get things done. I want to move on with it. And I think this asbestos, you can go back and you can read up on it all you want to. It's a really dangerous thing. It's barred from usage, I think, just about everywhere in the United States today. every medical authority you can find talks about the problems with it.
We don't have any problem with recognizing that, of course. It is just that business of whether or not it can be removed from the windows, and so that you can retain the original windows. I feel like that the best course is to maybe have a called meeting and have time for you to talk to the abatement companies about, and maybe bring them back here. I don't know. Gabe, what do you think?
That's just to let you know, I will be gone starting the 19th. And so we're really looking at, could be next week,
Well,
either 10th or 17th, so.
do you think you could do something quickly? Do you think, you want to do something
asked.
quickly?
We've not gotten a bid at all from one on the windows. We've asked the other one, they've given us their answer. There's just not a lot of companies that deal with asbestos. I mean, we know. We deal with asbestos a lot. We know
We
who's
deal
out
with
there and who isn't.
asbestos frequently. I've had asbestos taken out of, in the last 4 years, I've had it taken out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places, and I've got bids out right now on another building, a 19,000 square foot building, to have the asbestos taken out of it. These guys are busy, and they're busy taking asbestos out of places where people want to get it. And most of those are commercial buildings.
And if I can add, they're not finesse people. These people are demolition people, because everybody gets rid of asbestos. They're, in terms of taking asbestos off these windows without damaging them, there's going to be damage. These guys demolish stuff. They throw it off, they pull it off. They're not carpenters.
Well, the other option in something like this is not the removal, but the encapsulation of it would be the company that would
Problem
encapsulate
with
it.
that is you have to, you've got all of this stuff flaking around these things that you're going to have to sand it
Has to
off
be
before
sanded.
you can
Yeah.
before you can put the epoxy on.
That's where they would come in and do
Yeah.
that,
It
and then
swells,
encapsulate the rest of it.
Yeah.
It flakes off. It's not a smooth, you think of caulk that you put around a bathtub, for instance. Nice smooth line, just blends in seamlessly between the tub and the tile. It's not that. It's mushroomed out. It's flaking off. If you try to encapsulate it, it won't look good. You've got a big fat bead of encapsulation. You've seen probably bad caulk jobs. I know I've got a lot of rental property that I've acquired over the years, and I've seen bad caulk jobs. I've seen good ones. There's no way to make this good in the current condition of the windows.
Can you take that picture that you had on there, you showed the one picture, and blow that up so we can see if we can get enough detail on it to see?
Let's see here. Talking about the one that's in the.
The one you took that you put in your report. Can you blow that up more than what it was? Maybe
Not
not.
without the photo.
I don't know.
It's not in this one, on the, here that I did. Here I can do.
That's not it. The one you had in the report by itself.
Let me try.
And the windows in this packet that I handed you, they're from most every room in the house, in every direction of the house. So, some of the windows on the first floor may look a little okay, but most of them are not. They are not.
You have to
Pieces
just
are
give me a
breaking
sec.
off. That's probably an example of some of it.
You enlarge that photograph,
I can zoom in. This is all I can do from it.
if you can take it on down. Not get it focused in. Well, if you come over here and look at this thing, you can see the grooves in the paint.
We have it up
right
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We see Gabe.
You see how the paint is up there in the top pieces?
Mm-hmm,
When you get on in closer on it,
yeah,
and that's probably,
yeah.
you see around here.
Yeah, I mean, all of
See how the
it definitely
paint's
needs to be
not wet.
painted, but it doesn't look like it's coming apart to that point that is unrepairable. You know, that's really the issue.
I agree, they need painting, but they have to be sanded before they're painted.
Yes, they do.
Well,
Yeah.
and you will have lead paint in that,
I'm
which
sure
means
we
that
will.
they are
Probably
going to have
will
to.
be.
I'm sure it has.
But I
lead
mean,
paint.
well, I mean, it
Yeah, they
it
didn't
will.
outlaw
So they're
it
gonna
until
have to wear,
78.
they're gonna have to
Have
wear
to
that
wear
stuff for
Just
that,
for the lead paint
for the
anyway.
lead paint.
And that's
regardless.
pretty common, much less so than asbestos.
Yeah.
But again, if you have any painter who comes in, and this isn't appropriately abated, they have to be asbestos licensed to sand that down and get it smooth and out. I don't know many painters who do that. We've just hit roadblock after roadblock, in addition to the health concerns. And that's why we're here. I think if we had an easy way out, we understand your initiative, we understand the directive of saving these windows. We just keep hitting roadblocks. And then we're faced with not just the cost of restoration, but the added cost of asbestos removal, which is substantial. I mean, it's substantial. You take your windows, Ms. Dunn, and add a substantial additional cost to each of those, whatever your cost was. To
If you
restore
can get
those.
somebody to do it.
If you can find somebody to do that. And I've searched. There may be someone in New England who deals with historic homes more, but I don't know any local person.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody somewhere placed on earth would do it. You know, I've seen the women in India cut the grass with a pair of scissors. And I know the military used to require people to do that just as a teaching technique. But I don't know anybody doing that in the United States regularly.
I feel like we're at an impasse, and it's difficult to come to some sort of emotion. Do you feel comfortable with making a motion?
No.
Do you feel comfortable with making a motion? I think that there's nothing else for us to do but to table it and to offer to have a called meeting within the next, couple of week or so.
Probably have to be because you have to give a week's notice, and it probably have to be the 17th,
Okay.
because that's before I leave. And
What day of the week is the 17th?
that's a Wednesday. I'm keeping the same.
Are you free on the 17th?
I need to check.
Would that be the sole purpose of the meeting?
That'd be all it would be.
And what time would that be?
5:30.
Okay. I don't have my calendar, but I'll go ahead and agree to that time.
I don't have mine either, but I will too. I think it's important for us to not get into a situation right now that we're going to regret, and to give ourselves a little bit of time to do a little more research.
Would you be okay if I had just walked by your house and looked at these windows?
Sure, come right now if you'd like.
I'll
We'll
take
be
it. I
glad
wanna
to
see
take
'em at
you. Well,
night.
we're here, let's go over
I
there.
just want to get a clearer picture.
The outside's
Yeah.
not gonna be as viewable because most of the windows are elevated on the front and side, so you're not going to be able to see, a lot of the decay.
I mean, I've been by that house, but I've never been up to the house. So
I'd welcome. you to
We'd
come
be
in
glad to
and
have
show
you over there.
around.
Right now, if you'd like to come over, I mean,
I think we probably don't need to see
Or
it
even
in the
tomorrow.
dark.
I'll be back in
Yeah.
town tomorrow.
Well,
we'll be around tomorrow.
I would just like to kind of get, I mean, 48 windows is a lot of windows, just
49.
49 to wrap
Two
my
in the
head around,
basement, we
so.
didn't throw in that, but they're,
Yeah, I mean, certainly,
yeah, there's not much left.
certainly we can separate the windows that you showed the pictures of that are in the cottage that are not contributing and so forth from the main house. But the main house windows are an issue that we really do need a little bit of time, for you to do some research and for us perhaps to do a little bit of research and to think a little bit further so we don't do something wrong. We do want to do the right thing, sincerely.
Well, we thank you for listening to us
Well,
today.
and we thank you for,
Appreciate
We
we thank
appreciate
you
you
for
doing what
your,
you're doing.
for your patience with this.
Well,
And for what you're doing with the house, it looks really nice.
Can I have a motion to
You
table
have
then?
a motion to
I'll
table.
make a motion to table the
The
certificate of
certificate application.
application.
May we add also the 17th as the date for the meeting?
And have a special called meeting just to focus on this topic at 5:30 on Wednesday, December 17th.
Second that.
Ms. Bunn seconds the motion. Any further discussion about that? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mrs. White,
Aye.
Mrs. Bunn.
Aye.
Okay, we'll all work hard to figure out what the right answer is. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
We don't have any waivers. There's no waivers.
Nope. No. Nothing else to
Nothing
add?
else? So
Nothing,
we-
nothing else to
We
add.
adjourn?
Just need a motion to adjourn
Okay,
in a
need
second.
motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
yes.
Oh,
Oh.
well, actually, I'll just remind.
The
On
ninth.
Tuesday.
So we
Right.
have a training workshop for like different webinars and everything on
The 9th,
The 9th.
the 9th, yes.
Tuesday the 9th.
And so that's where you guys will just be watching webinars that are put on by the NAPC. I think, you guys have seen previous ones, but this is just to satisfy that CLG requirement for the training that all board members have to meet. So we're having,
That's at 10 o'clock.
yeah, so we'll have a training day. It'll be in the small conference room, and I'll have them up, and we'll go from there. We're not gonna have-
Maybe we could get Mike Peelis to pipe in on this.
He's on medical leave.
Mike is? Well, I've been communicating with him, he didn't tell me that.
I can fill you in
All
later.
right. Are we still, did we vote to?
Do we have a
adjourn?
second to
I
adjourn?
second.
Oh,
Okay, then, Mrs. Hartshorn,
aye.
Mrs. White,
Aye.
and Mrs. Bunn.
Aye.
Okay.